Hey guys, it's your girl. Yeah. This is my set. My bed. I love my bed.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
No, you
Got
don't.
photo bomb with a donut.
It's old. It's lumpy. You don't love it.
No, I love my bed. All it needs is a new mattress.
Yeah, it's old. It's lumpy, just like me.
Like he's got lumps in the right places. Never mind. If that's one way to get rid of Cheyenne.
How do you get rid of the kids in your room? Naked Twister.
We need to go into... Which closet is it in? In your closet or my closet?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Well, get up and look because we need to pull out the Naked Twister.
I don't wanna.
But
I'm
anyway.
not moving because that means you guys won't play it.
You think?
No, don't. No, he has my ear.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Bye.
Cheyenne!
Bye. It's a kid-free zone. Bye.
Anyway.
We're eating donuts.
Again, I'm going to chime into something late
Oh,
here.
God. What are we chiming in on again?
What happened to that doctor and what we found out about last night?
Oh.
This time,
I think we chimed in on the American.
no.
On
no,
United.
No. I never said anything about it.
I could have sworn we did.
But this time, guys, I'm chiming in. Because, frankly, United was bad enough. But now American has to join in. Oh, my God. First, United wants to claim or say that it was obvious through the videos that this plane was overbooked.
No, all I do is squeeze it. It's cartilage. It'll hurt.
Go on. It was obvious from all the videos that this plane was overbooked. So they were asking for volunteers to leave the plane. Then they asked this gentleman, well, I forget his name. I think it was Dr. Wu or...
Well, they didn't even ask him. They said
if nobody volunteered,
they were going to have the system
pick people at random.
Randomly pick 4 people.
And he said he wasn't leaving because he's a doctor. And he had to get home to see his family and his patients because he had to work the next day. Well, needless to say, they said he was being belligerent. They said he was being rude. Okay. I'm going to say this. I don't care if somebody's being belligerent. They bought the ticket. And if he got to be someplace at a certain time, leave the man alone.
My thing is and this is my point on it. I bought the ticket. I waited. You said board the plane. I gave you my ticket. I got on the plane. That means I've redeemed my ticket. I am now on the plane.
Mm-hmm.
You come on saying we need 4 people to volunteer. Nobody wants to volunteer.
And from what I understand, they only offered, what, less than $1,000?
My understanding is they went up near $1,000.
Yeah, for these people to leave. And by law, the max they can offer is $1,300. Okay, if you can offer $1,300, that's enough for somebody to go to another airline and buy another ticket to a plane going to the exact same place so this man could have gotten home. We don't know how much these tickets cost. Frankly, we don't know because we haven't flown together anywhere. I've taken a plane twice in my life. Twice. And I was a teenager back then.
The last time I
haven't
took a
flown
plane
anywhere.
by myself was from North Carolina to Philly, and it cost me about $300
And
when I was in the service.
frankly, they said he wasn't going to leave, that he had patients the next day. He wanted to go home. And so they called in security onto the plane to have him escorted off. But instead of having him escorted off, what they did was they slammed his head into the armrest, knocked out his teeth, and broke his nose. Knocked him out. Completely out.
I think they tased him.
Regardless of whether they tased him or not,
but I'm just...
he was knocked out doing night.
That's what I'm saying. I think they might have tased him.
He was literally nose broke, teeth broke, and then had the nerve to drag this man off of the plane
Throw it out.
with no dignity.
Kitchen.
No dignity at all. His shirt hiked up, his pants practically falling off, and people are appalled. And then they wonder why they're appalled. Now, then he gets back on the plane and he's obviously disoriented. He's muttering to himself, I've got to go home, I've got to go home, I must go home, I must go home, I must go home. And he's bleeding. His face is literally leaking. Come to find out later in the later reports, he had to have reconstructive surgery for his nose because it was so severely broken. He had to have his teeth fixed, which was in addition to the reconstructive surgery because his teeth were knocked clean out of his mouth. And he's suing United. And frankly, doctor, I hope you win. I hope you win. Because they cannot treat people like this. If you didn't want to give up your seat, you didn't need to give up your seat. You didn't have to give up your seat. They didn't need to beat you up in order for you to get your seat, to get somebody to leave the plane. No, that's ridiculous. And frankly, it's unconstitutional. No. How dare you lay hands on this man? Now, brings me to my second part of my rant.
Oh.
Whew. Y'all know I'm a mother, and you saw me rant just a few
2:30
until this whole situation is over, and hopefully I'll give you an update on what I think about that. But let me go back to my original subject. I was watching a few news reports yesterday.
I told you.
And I don't like watching the news. It's so depressing. But it chimes into the whole United Airlines, how they treated that doctor. And this is another thing about the United Airlines thing. They tried to bring up this man's past, saying he's a criminal, he used to sell drugs, he had his license taken away. His past ain't got nothing to do with you beating him up. Nothing. You slammed his head into a headrest. That has nothing to do with you slamming his head into a headrest. So, oh, my pinch me got here. Cool. That's for a few minutes.
And I had to take the Gary Barbera, and since you broke the key and screwed up the lug nuts, they had to do something to take them off, and it cost me $110.
This involves American Airlines. Okay? American Airlines, what the hell? After what just happened on United, I just saw on TV. Yes, I've got my pinch me. On what just happened on United, I see just yesterday, a lady on United was told by a flight attendant that she's on an international flight, and she's told by a flight attendant that, and excuse my hair, I'm about to brush it anyway, that she can take her stroller onto the plane as long as she could A, find space, and B, if it folded up small enough that she could stow it. Otherwise, she would have to check the stroller. So they allowed her onto the plane in order to see if there was room enough that she could store it in the overhead compartment. Right. Now, she went on and she's looking for space for her stroller. All the time, this lady is holding her baby. Little baby. Couldn't have been a year. Couldn't have been 6 months. She's holding a baby. Are you for real, people? And this male flight attendant, I've seen pictures of him. He's bald. He looks mean. He looks grumpy. He looks irritated. Has the nerve to walk up to this poor mother. Snatch. Not take. Not kindly request. But snatch the stroller out of her hands after she explains what the other flight attendant had told her, and snatched it out of her hands so violently that it hits her in the head. And how do I know it hit her in the head? Because in the video you can see there's a mark on her forehead, and it's red, and it's aggravated. It's not bleeding, but it's red, and it's aggravated. Now, proof. Janine does brush her hair. Now, in yanking.
What class do you have now?
English.
English.
That's the only class left. And if it's with Cheyenne's teacher, it shouldn't take long. Because yesterday we got out around like 1:40, 2 o'clock, 2:15. One of those. Why?
Now, mind you, let me just do this because I just feel like it. I like my hair down on occasion. But he yanked this stroller from her so violently that not only did he hit her in the forehead, that it left a mark, but he almost hit the baby that she was carrying. And passengers were yelling at him, "What's wrong with you? You almost hit this child." And in the video I saw, there was a gentleman who stood up and said, "Buddy, if you would have done that to one of my family, I would have knocked you out." And then he says, "You shut up. This has nothing to do with you." You're right. It had nothing to do with him. But he's standing up for a female who had a baby in her arms, a defenseless child, and the stroller that he hit her with. However, indirectly, was metal. And if it would have hit that child in the head, Lord knows what kind of damage could have been done. Now, he in turn started fighting with this passenger, saying, bring it on, dude. I'll take you on." The passenger stepped out into the aisle and went after him. And what did he do? He threw his hands up. I don't need this problem. When he realized that the passenger was bigger than him.
I'll do that, and
Own it.
well,
You said it, own it. Own your stuff.
and you know,
If you say that you're going to take somebody on, own it. This passenger didn't threaten you. He stated a fact. This woman had passengers coming to her defense, making sure that she was okay, that the baby was okay. Had the pilot out there. And this flight attendant, gate attendant, was so belligerent. And, why does he have a job? Why does he have a job? He's in the customer care courtesy department of a flight or airline, excuse me. Why do you have a job? First of all, you're physically snatching something out of somebody's hand without knowing the whole full story. Then, in the act of snatching that item out of their hand, you hit him in the head, which narrowly misses a baby. And the other question, sorry, it cut out again. But anyway, he didn't apologize to her. And that's the one thing he should have done. He should have apologized to her in one way, shape, or form. She deserved that much. But instead, United Airlines released a statement stating that they regretted the situation, that the flight or gate attendant was taken off of duty pending investigation.
Just walk by the bathroom and I hear zombie noises.
And that they would do their best to investigate this to the fullest. And in the meantime, her and her family were removed from the flight and had their seats upgraded to first class on another flight during the duration of their international trip. Okay. First of all, yay United. Or not United, American. Yay for you. Golf clap. You did better than United did. Because United tried to blame the whole thing on that doctor. Remember, Dr. Wu did not want to give up his seat because A, he had to work. B, he wanted to go home. So he had his face rearranged. They didn't back up their flight attendant because obviously by the videotape, the flight attendant was wrong. Now, did this gentleman who come up to him and yell in his face and get aggressive with him, was he wrong? Yes. Yes, yes, and yes. He did not need to do that. But did he come to defense of this this mother with a 6-month or younger or possibly a little bit older baby who can't defend itself? Yes, he came to her defense, and somebody had to come to her defense because obviously the staff wasn't. They were standing around looking at her like, And then the other flight attendant that escorted the man back to his seat, it was just an accident. No, that wasn't just an accident. It may have looked like an accident to you, but to me, that was an assault. Now, what my husband, and this is one of the points that I was trying to make before I got wrapped up in doing this, is that it was on a plane. Where was the air marshal? Where was the air marshal in all of this? And why was not the air marshal called upon to do his job? Why? Why was the air marshal not called upon to do his job? Because once you are in a plane, it is the domain of the air marshal, and he is law enforcement on the plane. Why not was the air marshal not called upon to do his job? Can somebody answer me that question? To me, that man should have been locked up because hitting that woman with that stroller was not just assault. That was assault with a deadly weapon. It's metal. It could have knocked her out. She could have dropped that baby. That baby would have gotten seriously hurt, if not killed. Because we all saw what happened to the doctor on United. So, think about it. And people say to me, Janine, it's been so long since you've been on a plane. Now, I've got a friend, very close friend of mine. I love him to death. I really do. He's been a friend of mine since the girls were knee-high to a grasshopper. They were still wearing diapers. Have crushes on them. Sam Lyon. Sam Lyon. Justin. Sam Lyon.
Liar.
I'm telling Justin.
Say what? No, for real, help me! Help me!
Always easy. Oh boy. We use this socket. There was a close-up before.
I'm gonna pull her arm out of the socket. That's what's gonna happen.
So you're lying about what?
That Jackie had a crush on Justin.
What? Did
Alright,
not. Did.
But anyway,
I muted this.
I'm afraid for him because he's supposed to come up and see me for my birthday this year. And he's flying up from Jacksonville, Florida.
Hello.
And it scares me for
He says
him
he's waiting on paperwork.
because
But they only did 3 of the 4 tires. One of the lug nuts is rounded, and they tried everything they can to get it off. And yeah,
I'm worried
I don't
about what
know.
might happen to him
so
with all the.
so
You know,
they're like,
granted,
they
the
can
trip
use a
is
blowtorch to heat the
months
lug nut
off
up,
yet. It's
but
here.
they're not
It's
allowed
the
to.
end of April. We're going into May, and my birthday's not until August.
And I tried telling him that if you use a blowtorch to heat a lug nut up,
I'm so
it messes
worried.
with the lug stuff.
I'm still worried. I'm gonna be turning
And
46,
he's like,
y'all.
but I can have that replaced.
I'm
I'm
already
like, Josh,
45.
you
I'm
don't-
turning
You
46.
don't understand, you heat it up
Stop.
to get the nut off. It usually heats up the stud so the stud can fall out. So it's
You see what I gotta put up with?
He was waiting on paperwork to come home.
love me.
So
At
they
least
did
I'm
3
not
of the
Daddy
4
05.
tires.
You love me.
Yeah.
You love me.
So and right now I'm trying to.
Go make yourself a cup of tea.
I'm researching how to get a rounded lug nut on.
No.
So.
Stop.
I will go for that ponytail and start tickling your
No.
ear. Dare me.
No.
I was torturing her all day, taking her ponytail and going, "How does this feel?
Yeah, I
How
know.
does this feel?" Driving her
I
nuts.
mean, I'm sorry. I had to give them the bill.
It's not fair.
I had to give them the bill because you had to go
But anyway,
get those things cut off.
Oh, shut up.
and then the Flight Attendants
That's me.
Association or Union president had the nerve to chime in on this, not knowing the whole story, only hearing this guy's half of the story.
Yeah, I know.
And everybody knows in life there's his side, there's her side, and then there's the truth.
But yeah, he should be on his way.
Kitty. Mouth.
Alright.
Wolfie. Wolfie.
Figured I'd let you know.
But,
Alrighty.
come on, Mama.
Bye. Okay.
But there's always 3 sides to a story. There's one side, which would be the flight gate attendant side. There's another side, which would be the mother who got hit in the head side. And then there's the truth. And to tell you the truth, seeing that mark on her forehead, I tend to believe her more than I'll believe him. Really, mouth. I apologize. Get lost. I love you, but
Come here. Over here.
butts in people's face.
But.
So where do we come together? Let's agree to disagree on this one. He deserves to be fired. He should not have done that without knowing what the first gate attendant, flight attendant had told her. He should not have or B, violently snatched her property from her hand. That's her property. Strollers are expensive. They're not cheap. I've not seen a stroller in years that goes for under $100. Okay? Unless you've got an umbrella a stroller, and then they go for anywhere from $20 to $50. And again, they're made of metal. So an umbrella stroller could have folded up and gotten into the above head compartment. But it's her property. You have no business laying hands on her property without her consent. No. And then you have no business laying hands on her property without her consent and violence. What's wrong with you? Oh my God. And like my husband said, where was the air marshal? Why wasn't this man handcuffed and escorted off of the plane by the air marshal? And he also said that passenger that came to her defense first asking for this man's name and then straight out telling him, dude, if you would have done that to any of my family, you would have been knocked out. That's not and then he says, oh, I felt threatened. I was threatened. He didn't get threatened. No. He got a fact stated to him. Am I wrong, honey?
Nope. As far as I'm concerned, no.
He got a fact stated to him by somebody who was outside of the situation, looking in on the situation, and stating that fact if it would have happened to him. And then this gate or flight attendant gentleman gets belligerent with this passenger and says, well, shut up. It has nothing to do with you, pointing his hands in this gentleman's face. And getting belligerent with the male passenger who's coming to the defense of this lady who just got hit in the head with a metal stroller holding a baby. Everybody's up in arms because a baby was almost struck by a flight or gate attendant who had no business putting his hands on this woman's property without knowing the whole story. Oh, I'm telling you, I'm so up in arms about this. I'm disappointed, and now I really don't ever want to get on an airplane. I'll stick to Greyhound. I'll stick to Amtrak, even though Amtrak right now don't have the greatest of track records in my tri-state area with, you know, train derailings. But one of them wasn't Amtrak; it was SEPTA. It was still a train derailing. A lot of people don't trust Amtrak anymore, but I do. Why? Because I believe if you're on the ground, that's where you're safer. And right now, what's seeing how customers and passengers are being treated on airplanes. I don't want to take an airplane. I don't want to fly. I don't. It scares me because y'all know me by now. My husband's a veteran. He has PTSD. He's been through enough in his life. If something like that would have gone down with any part of our family, he would have snapped. The switching in his head would have gone filter off, and that's it. And there would have been no holding him back. I'm sorry.
The air marshal would have showed up then.
Sure enough. Yes, I agree with that. The air marshal would have shown up then. But it's ridiculous. Where was the air marshal in all of this? Where? Goodness. I apologize if it seems like I'm ranting a lot, and frankly, I don't care. There's a lot to rant about lately. There really is. There's a lot to rant about lately. Daddy 05 deserves the worst of it, but come on. People, you're a passenger on an airline, and you're being treated as if you're second-rate citizens. And I'm sorry, I grew up in the United States. I love my country. My husband fought for our country. Every person in our family, going back for generations, has, well, not everybody, but at least one person a generation in our family has served in the military in one way, shape, or form. His father was in the Vietnam War. My father was in Korea. His stepfather was in the Vietnam War. His grandmother was in the USO. My younger brother is Navy. My younger brother is Army. My older brother was Navy. Cousins were Marines and Navies and Armies. Come on now. I feel strongly about this. There's a lot to rant about. For somebody to be treated like a second-rate citizen after they've paid their ticket and boarded an airplane and treated like that, especially if you have a baby in your arms. No. And for United to bring up this man's past, which he's actually earned his way back into not full graces, but enough to work 1 day a week in his profession. That says something. So, but you're going to bring up his criminal past and say he's a drug dealer. That has nothing to do with the people that face planted him into an armrest and messed up his mug. What the are you thinking, United? What are you thinking? That makes you look petty. Point blank period. That makes you look petty. But this American Airlines, it was a mother holding a defenseless baby, searching to, or looking to collapse her stroller small enough that she could put it into the overhead compartment, having this man come up, violently take it out of her hand, violent enough for it to come up and hit her in the head and miss a baby by mere inches. I want to ask, what's happened to humanity? What's happened to humanity? We used to. I was raised by having some respect for your fellow man. What happened to humanity where people don't care no more? People just don't care no more. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm the last person to say, can we all just get along? No, I'm not that person. I pop off in a minute when it comes to my family. I will pop off. If I hear that somebody's messed with my sister, I pop off. If somebody's messed with my nieces or nephews, I pop off. My brother, I pop off. My husband, my children, I pop off. Point blank period. I pop off. I have a very short temper. And this also comes from protecting my mother. A lot of people say that my mother didn't need protecting, but my mother was more sensitive than people believed. I grew up with her. She was my best friend. So, but my mom was a lot more sensitive than what people believed. So, and my brothers and sister will my brother and my sister will all tell you, something happened to mommy. We were all there. So if that would have happened on the airplane to our mother, there would have been problems. Now I have a sister who lives and works down in Miami, Florida. Not far from where my friend is coming to see me. I'd say they're 3-4 hours drive apart from each other. Possibly more than that. I'm not sure. I don't live in Florida. I wish I would. I wish I did. But she lives down in Florida. I don't know how often she takes airlines or whatever. But I can tell you right now, if this would have happened to her, I live in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. If I would have heard, Janine, something happened to your sister. Which sister? The one in Miami. I'm there. Yup. I don't care. And I'm popping off at somebody. I'm popping off. Why? Because that's my sister. That's my family. I may not be there when you call, but I'm always on time. And what this man did to this woman is disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. I am livid over what he did to her and her child. And then for that other attendant to say, it was just an accident. Are you for real? What Candyland are you living in? He almost hit a child. It was just an accident. Nah. I can't. There's no defense for it, in my opinion. There's no defense. So, let me know. Am I wrong? Watch YouTube. Bring up American Airlines. Search American Airlines scandal. Woman hit on American Airlines. Baby almost hurt on American Airlines. Search any of those keywords or key phrases and it will pop up. And then search United Airlines scandal. Let me know what you think on both of these issues. I want to know, please. Let me know if I'm wrong. Let me know if I'm overreacting. I don't think I am. It's things like this that make me want to go and rip my hair out. Like I said, I'm a gamer. I love my video games. I'm a mother. I adore and love my children, even though they get on my nerves and make my hands shake. And I love my husband. I adore my husband. I love my family to death. And I see stuff like this happening, and I want to cry, and I want to climb under my blanket in my beloved bed that is a mess right now. And I don't want to come out ever again in my life. Ever. I am just so appalled by the behavior of the human race right now. I am appalled by the behavior of the human race. And Maybe in the next few days I'll upload another get to know me video. There is a video called Get to Know Me and My Broken Neck. Watch that. You'll learn a lot about me. But maybe I'll upload another Get to Know Me video if something something else doesn't pop off in the news. But otherwise, let me know what you think about this. Leave me a comment, please, pretty please. Let me know if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I will take that criticism. I'll welcome it. But if I'm right, think about it. If I'm right, look for me. Okay, guys, I'm going to close out the video because, frankly, it didn't get closed out correctly. And it really needs to be closed. Look for me. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, /Shankara or @Shankara. I haven't had a chance to get onto the computer because A, I'm lazy. And B, I just haven't had a chance. I really haven't because my girls go to cyber school. So, yeah, look for me on that. And if I'm wrong on this subject, please let me know. Like I said, I welcome the criticism. You didn't hear a lot from Doug because he was helping out a friend with a little crisis. But look for me and let me know if I'm wrong. Let me know if I'm right. Let me know how you think on this situation. And again, I love you to the moon and back, and I'll see you later. Bye, guys.